All right, everyone, it is draft time. Yes, draft time. That time when we get that new player and we get all juiced up for the season. And this year, finally, we really have a reason to get that player and think that player is going to be really good for us. Maybe two of them, maybe even three of them, first, second, and third round. I don't know. But I'm as excited as can be for this draft. But first of all, a lot of things have happened over these last weeks, and I want to make sure we cover everything. First of all, the schedule was released. And me first looking at the schedule, I'm like, oh, wow, I like the schedule. And I heard it from you. A lot of you was like, I like the schedule. And with me, I didn't see any hard stretches like we had years before and whatnot. It seemed pretty even. Now, I don't know if that's because there's not many lesser teams on that schedule for us to vary the schedule a little bit, because it's tough from the top to bottom. This is a tougher schedule than we had last year. There's no Jaguars, there's no Titans on here, there's no Texans on here. You know, these are some serious teams, and the AFC East improved themselves tremendously on the year that we play them. So it's not going to be easy for anyone in the NFC East at all, because we're the only division where I don't think, it depends on what happens with Washington, but I don't think there's a team in there where anybody can say they're a guaranteed win over somebody else. We're not a guaranteed win over any of them, and any of them they're not a guaranteed win over anybody else. So the NFC East is kind of competitive. We are still on the top of the mountain, right? Well, until we get a running back. I still need to see who got a running back before I can firmly place my feet on the top of the mountain. I think some of you are like that with me. But I really think we can go through this schedule and play hard, and we can get into the playoffs again. That's all we need, people. I don't expect us to go 12-4 or 13-3 or something like that, simply because that's a tough schedule. I do expect us to win the NFC East, though, and go to the playoffs. That's what I really do expect. So as long as we focus, take care of our division, take care of those teams that we play twice a year, we do that, we're in the playoffs. And once we're in the playoffs, we can do anything. We're not like Green Bay. We're not Green Bay. We're not that team that drops double nickels on teams back-to-back weeks. But we play hard and we win. And if it doesn't happen as much as it does with Green Bay during the regular season, then in the postseason, we can play with those guys because we're ready to fight. You saw it last year. Even though it was a half of Aaron Rodgers, we were able to play with Green Bay. So all we have to do this year is get in the playoffs. And once we're in the playoffs, anything can happen. That's just the way we are built. All right. Next, running back with this draft. That's the main focus. Now, I don't think we should get a running back in the first round. I don't. I'm so glad. First of all, I don't even have his picture up there. Adrian Peterson is probably not going to be a Cowboy. Stephen Jones kind of closed that door, so I'm happy that happened. So let's move on and get a rookie to go behind this offensive line for years to come. Now, with me, my guy is the guy in the middle, Todd Gurley. I really want Todd Gurley. I don't want to go up too far to get Todd Gurley, but if Todd Gurley starts to fall, which I doubt, but if he by any chance starts to fall because of his knee or whatever, then when he falls into like the 15, 16, 17, 18, if he's right there, I say we move to go get him. Simply because he's a monster. He has Adrian Peterson potential. And the one thing that made our defense better than any single player or any couple of players last year was our running game. And if our running game can get to a point where it's unstoppable like it was last year, then it does more for our defense than an individual player does. Period. So therefore, if we have to use a third to move up just a little bit to get Todd Gurley, then let's just do that, because he will help our offense, help the defense. And you know what I'm saying. You didn't know what I was saying when I used to say that all the time. Then last year, you saw it in work. You saw it working. All right. Now, my guy is Todd Gurley. My second guy is I call him JJ. That's my second guy. I really like him, except he has a bad degenerative knee, kind of like what Leary has with his knee. So we don't know how long he's going to last in the NFL. And Leary kind of faded bad last year in the playoffs. I'll get to that in just a second. And then the last person I really don't like, T.J. Yeldon. But those three guys I have up there because those are the three type of running backs that we need. We need bell cows. We need people that we can hand the ball to over and over and over. And I know you people like Tevin Campbell-Coleman and some other guys in the draft that has that long-term speed, that speed that'll get a touchdown from 80, 70, 60 yards or whatnot, which is fine and dandy. But it seems to me that we have that type talent on the team. Maybe not as good as Coleman, but we have that type talent on the team with Dunbar, Randall, and Darren McFadden. We have guys that have speed and can make moves and outside. We need somebody to hand the ball off to get 2 or 3 yards, because I'm telling you right now, I do not want to turn into the Andy Reid Eagles. Do you hear me? I do not want to turn into the Andy Reid Eagles. What were the Andy Reid Eagles? They were a team that could never get 3rd and 2. They could never get 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line or the 1-yard line. The short yardage they can never get, and it always stopped their offense from doing anything later on in the playoffs and things of that sort. So we need that type of running game. All right. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to say we're going to pick up any running back in the draft and we're going to be good. Just like the majority of Cowboy fans are doing. The majority of Cowboy fans are really talking up our offensive line to incredible levels, which they're not there yet. They're possibly the best unit in the NFL as of last year. But they got to come back next year and play the same with a running back that they're not familiar with as they were familiar with the other guy. So it's got to come back all circle again what they did last year. And then secondly, the playoff time. If you guys are as old as me, you remember the 90s offensive line, which was probably the greatest line of all time. That was a dominating line. That was a line that you couldn't do anything with. Let me tell you what they did. Against the Redskins in the playoffs, these dudes, the Dallas Cowboys, Norv Turner, ran the same play over and over and over and over. And there was nothing that could be done about it. That is domination. And I hope these guys get to that level. But these guys, in the playoffs last year, according to NFL.com stats, they gave up, I think it was 10 sacks and like 17 hurries. I got the stats somewhere. But they were the worst offensive line in the playoffs. You know, Seattle had as many sacks as Dallas did, but Seattle played the extra game. But they just did not perform well in the playoffs. So we can't just say, oh my God, they were so much better than anybody else out there. It's ridiculous, because they're not yet. They're young and they're very good, and the potential is crazy. We just need to get the right guy. I don't care if he's in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. There's some guys I like that's going to be picked way down in the draft. I don't care if they're way down in the draft in the Dallas Cowboys organization, because I trust their mentality. I think they know what they're doing as far as the scouts with Dallas right now. If they pick the right guy to go with that system, then we're back. But they have to get the right guy. We can't just plug anybody back there and be a juggernaut or be what we were last year. We have to get the right guy. All right, next. Orlando Scandrick has been playing a little hardball with the Cowboys. Personally, a lot of people got mad at me for saying this, but I have to be as real as possible. Personally, it doesn't bother me as much, because the Cowboys are becoming smart with money. They're making smart decisions with money. They're doing things that you and I are both proud of. And everybody sees it, even the players. So with the Cowboys being so smart and making fiscal decisions and all that, who's getting the short end of the stick? The players. And they see that. So business-wise, we're going to start seeing players like Scandrick take a little hardball. Look, those two guys, Carr, Mo, are not playing nearly as well as I am. Why are you paying them more than me? I'm out. I'm not going to play until you pay me more. So that's what they're dealing with right now. Can't really blame Scandrick, but as far as Cowboys, he needs to be in camp. So we're going to see how that thing materializes. But he's getting paid like 30th in the league when it comes to corners. So he's not making that much money this year. He made some money before, but again, business-wise, when, for instance, like DeMarco Murray, all that yards and all that stuff he got before, you don't pay for that stuff. So the same thing on the player's term, all the money that you paid him before, that was before. I don't want you to pay me for now. So it works on both ways. So that's what's going on with Scandrick, and I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out. And last is the NFL draft, the live schedule. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm gonna have a show at 7 o'clock. And you see at the schedule, you see every show will be at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna keep it that way to keep a little structure going on as far as this draft time, because the draft will start at 8 Eastern. So Tuesday, tomorrow at 7, we're gonna have a show. Wednesday 7, we're gonna have another show. Probably gonna be like 2 hours. Thursday at draft time is 8 Eastern. We'll be on live 7 Eastern. And then on Friday, we'll also be live 7 Eastern. And then Saturday, I'll be with Money, watching Money Mayweather do his thing. All right, guys, I'm excited. I've got a lot to talk about. This video could be so long, and the only way you can know what's up, what's going on, is you got to come to my live chats, and we can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. All right, guys.